this is Lisa Clark, and you are watching the Sassy Cat Part 5. And we are moving right along in this little picture. And I'm going to do that side sponge technique I talked about at the very beginning of Part 1. And that's how I'm creating these little hairs on her little face. Is just using that side tool. And it worked out pretty well. I was quite happy with the effects. So easy to change the colors, easy to dip into darker or lighter. Really was really fun and kind of nice to not have to stop and use pencils. So I'm liking the side tool. Now, that being said, if this was a smaller scale, like not as close up, like hyper close up as it is, I don't know that we'd be able to get the details with the Pan Pastels. But this is a really close up picture, as you can tell, comparison to my hand. So I'm able to use the side of the tool to get those little tiny little effects. So again, I'm deciding, oh, this was not dark enough. It needs to be lighter. Perfect example yet again. I can go right over it and just layer on a lighter color, mixture of white and I think crimson on this, and create that lighter effect on her bridge of her nose to make it look more like a swoop. You know, like this, the profile, how the profile shows you a cat's nose is more like a swoop, for lack of a better term. The bottom of her nose there is closer to you than the top of her bridge of her nose. So that would be a little bit lighter. And that's what I did. And I'm using the side of the tool again to create little specks of hair, the little tiny little hairs that are in there. Little definition of where the middle of her nose is. Just make that a little lighter on one side. And it helps. It helps to give that a three-dimensional look. Now I'm going to add some top layers to that cream that I had laid down earlier. Excuse me. And again, not worried about the thickness of the pan that I'm laying down because I'm not going to use pencils over this. So I'm not worried about how thick the layers of Pan Pastels are. Normally you would want to do a very light touch of Pan Pastels so you can do pencils over it so the paper takes it better. But like I've said, I'm not going to use pencil. I'm really not. The iris is the only part. And I'm still tossing around if I want to keep that eye blue. I mean, that's the color of the paper right there you see around her pupil, but I kind of like it. I don't know. Drop me a comment. What do you think? Should I leave her blue or stick to the reference photo of the color of eyes that she really has? Anyway, again, adding another layer of some browns and darker, like a black. I think I did use black on that top there. And I'm going to go over it because I don't want it black. So yeah, little imperfections in like around the fur and the corner of her eye there. Yeah, pans, I love them. Using the side of the tool again to create the little hairs there over her eye, and just kind of adding little flecks of hair here and there, trying to get the depth of the lights and the darks by using the side of the soft tool. And it worked really well for this close-up picture. Like again, I'm going to tell you, you won't be able to do this if either your reference photo is in a zoomed up close picture or the paper you're painting on is real small, like a 5x7. It would be really hard to use Pan Pastels to get details on something that small. But this is really hyper close, zoomed in. And so I'm able to use pans and the soft tool to get those little specks of hair. So I'm looking at my reference photo, deciding there's a little more lighter here. So I'm going to add some cream and probably mixed a little white with crimson in there. I'm not real clear on the names of the pastel colors, Pan Pastel colors, but anyway, there is no color. That is Sassy's color. I have to create the color. So I'm usually mixing 2 or 3, sometimes 4 colors to create the look I'm looking for. So here are these little dimples of where her whiskers will be. And I'm just trying to get a little idea. And I do end up changing the direction because it's not correct. I don't like the way it looks here. But I usually will sit with something for a few days and then go back to it and look at it and decide, oh, wait a minute. Those don't go that way. So I think I do redirect them a little bit here, but I think I will further define those little dimples later on in the next video or two. But we're almost done, so I'm thinking that maybe one or two more videos and we should have Sassy Cat all done. So there we go. Using that side of the sponge again, using those side of the sponge for the whiskers. That's part 5. Stay tuned and have a great rest of the day. Bye.